Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from SegaCityUniverse.com. I just wanted to share a quick memory with you. So, I lived in Florida for a few years previous to coming back to New York, and we lived in this big apartment complex. It was huge. There's tons of people, and it was kind of set up like long hallways, and each hallway had different apartments. And then in the middle of both sets of hallways was this huge pool, like a lounge area. It was really nice. So anyway, I was at the pool one day when I was a kid. I think we moved to Florida when I was about 8. So I was between, 9 and 12. I would say probably like 10 or 11. And I met this guy at the pool. Don't get the wrong idea, it's not weird stories like that. So I met this guy at the pool who was older. I would say in his 40s or so, maybe 50s, who was married. And him and his wife were both teachers at my school, or at least his wife was, I think. His name was Mr. Myers. So my parents met him and everything, and they got to know him a little bit, but once in a blue moon I would stop by his apartment and he'd have like video games, but it wasn't like he had like the newest, coolest stuff. He'd just have obscure stuff that he'd be like, oh, I just got this new game, try it out, whatever. And like I said, my parents got to know him a little bit, and it was safe and comfortable. It wasn't anything strange like that, and his wife was always there. So, long story short, he's the one who introduced me to Shadowrun. If any of you know me or you watched any of my other stuff, Shadowrun is one of my favorite universes. I absolutely adore the Genesis, Super Nintendo, and even the 360 version. I played it a lot with my friends still to this day, even though the community has gotten smaller. And it's still our favorite FPS online. We're not big into the military, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare type stuff, and Shadowrun is so different and weird, it's great. So anyhow, he got me into Shadowrun. We played Super Nintendo one together a few times, and I was so enamored by this awesome universe. And this is kind of just going to be me rambling about memories. So I was so enamored, and it was kind of creepy because the game is a little strange, and it's dark. It's got a dark tone. You're in Seattle, I believe it is, and there's cyberpunk stuff going on, and they mix the cyberpunk like Blade Runner scene with trolls and orcs and magic and goblins. In case you don't know what Shadowrun is, it's like mixing Dungeons and Dragons with Blade Runner. They mash it together. It's really cool. Magic's reawakened and come back. So one of my good memories from when I was a kid was Mr. Myers was moving, and we'd play games once in a while. And before he moved, he stopped by and he had this package for me, and he goes, I just wanted to give you something to say goodbye and wish you and your family. I think he knew we were moving back to New York at this point too, probably. I don't remember, maybe not. So I'd been all over the place, and when I was a kid, to the same places at least. And he moved and he handed me this package, and I opened it, and it was his copy of Shadowrun. I guess he had beaten it, and he wanted me to check it out. So I had like a mint box, perfect manual copy of Shadowrun on SNES. Sadly, as I got older, I sold all my stuff off. I always would sell my old stuff off and get new stuff. At this point in life, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I still had my original Super Nintendo and Nintendo, and even the other day in my video I was talking about my Dreamcast. So he introduced me to this series and this universe that I just find amazing. At this point I've played all 3 games. I have a ton of the cards, thanks to my good friend Mike. I'm not going to say his last name, I almost just slipped because we are on the interweb. But thank you to my good friend Mike for selling me and giving me massive amounts of cards for free for the Shadowrun games. So shout out to you, Mike, thank you. The trading card game is awesome. The Dungeons & Dragons type role-playing pen and paper game is awesome. So this video really, I just wanted to talk about some memories, and I wanted to segue backwards for a moment and talk about another memory I had with Mr. Myers. So he had told me about this guy he knew named, I think his name was Frank or Frankie, that sold brand new video games out of his house. I don't know if he stole them, I don't know if he worked at a store and he had like excess and he'd get them cheap, I don't know, whatever the deal was. So we went to this guy's house in Florida, we drove there and pull up, and it was strange because you walk in, it's a normal house, living room with like chairs and seats and stuff, and TV, and then on the wall is like racks, like a rental place, and in it is just Sega Genesis games across the whole wall. I don't know if he had Super Nintendo games, I don't recall, I don't think so. So we get there, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Myers picked up a really good game that some of you might know, Sword of Vermilion. Keep in mind, the story's not really going anywhere. I'm just going to talk about a good memory I had about games. I picked up And this is weird because I had a Genesis now at this point for years, but I picked up Altered Beast because I always loved it. And I had a grandmother who worked in Macy's, the department store in Manhattan. I think it was in Manhattan and Queens. And when I went in there when I was a kid, they had Sega Genesis set up with Altered Beast, and I would play it. I don't even know if Macy's sells video games anymore. Can anyone confirm that down below in the comments box? So I just had this really great memory of Altered Beast and how awesome it was, and I picked it up for like $5 or $10 at this guy's house. I also picked up Shinobi, was it 2 or 3? Shadow Dancer, with the one with the dog where you kind of sick them on people. And it was so awesome that this guy had all these like cheap games, brand new, wrapped, you know, in his house. It was a weird setup, very much so, but it was so cool, and it was a cool memory to go to someone's house, and like it was almost like, you know, there was no internet. I would read magazines all the time. I had Sega Visions coming to the house thanks to my father, and you know, if you didn't know about it through word of mouth or through the magazine, you didn't know what was coming out. So it was so cool to go to this guy's house and like see all these weird titles on the wall, and I really loved Altered Beast and Shadow Dancer. So I just wanted to touch upon this strange yet cool memory, and that's what I'm going to do with this channel primarily. I'm going to, you know, reviews and impressions and videos about Sega and all these other types of crap I like, but I also want to touch upon memories because I think it would be a nice way for me to almost journal my past memories. So, you know, if I forget them or if I wanted to take a look back in time, I can come back and watch them as well as share them with you guys who may also have some cool memories. If, you know, like I said, you want to put them down below, definitely do so. I love talking to you and interacting with you guys. I've made a bunch of good friends. Little did we know, me and Mr. Myers found out later that this Frank fellow had a, what do they call it? It's not saran wrap. The wrapping machine, cellophane or whatever, in his house. So all these games were used. He would go in, delete the saves, clean out the you know, cartridges, and rewrap them and sell them like they were new. So he was ripping people off. So it was a funny story. I just wanted to share it. Like I said, please share anything you guys have. I think it's great talking to all of you guys online on YouTube. So thank you for watching. I just wanted to share my little Shadowrun universe story, how I got into it. If you don't know it, please look it up. It's amazing. They're actually doing a Shadowrun online now on the PC, where it's almost like a Diablo-style MMO. It was kickstarted, and I kicked in like $120, get all the special in-game stuff and part of the VIP club, just because I love the universe. Hopefully my crappy computer can play it, because I don't know how the requirements are going to be. But check out the universe, and let me know of any of your cool old classic gaming stories or gaming stories in general. And thank you for watching. It's Vampire Mike from SegaCDUniverse.com signing out. Be good.